While doing research for another video, I stumbled across this insane scooter rabbit hole. I don't even know what to make of all of this. It's just absolute insanity. I have my most insane fit on to just get in the mindset of what's going on here. I was doing some research for another video, and I was looking up names of riders. I found a list called the top 10 best scooter riders of 2022. So I clicked on it, and I figured it was a pretty standard list. I could probably guess the riders, I figured, but I was absolutely mistaken. This led to a rabbit hole for hours. I was just going through articles and forums and just trying to figure out what I was looking at. This is just insanity. It goes deep. It goes really deep. Stick with me to the end here. I promise it gets really weird. And if you like this content, please make sure to subscribe.
Like a stuffed pig, Mac, and I got a paper trail to prove it. Check this out. Take a look at this.
Okay, just to hop right into this list, there's a lot to unpack here. We're just gonna go over like the bio, the intro to the list. American freestyle scooterist Dakota Schutz, aka The Machine, is truly the greatest scooter rider the X Games world has ever seen. He has achieved the World Championship title a record 3 times till now. His fellow American rider, Ryan Williams, and legendary English athletes, Brandon James, also deserve their mentions among the best scooter riders of all time. I don't even know what to say about this. We're starting off super strong here. First of all, the X Games world, scootering's not in the X Games. Maybe they're just getting it confused with like the extreme sports world. And then calling Dakota Schutz The Machine is really funny. But American athlete Ryan Williams, like, dude, a Google search, like just one Google search would have cleared that up. And Brandon James, why are they bringing up Brandon James? This is like 2020. This dude, I just looked up his Instagram. He doesn't really ride anymore. He hasn't ridden in a couple years, or at least posted about it, dropped anything super relevant. Awesome dude though, super technical rider, very impressive. But it's just, I don't really understand its relevance. So we're gonna skim through this article and I'm gonna unpack it. There's a lot to unpack, it goes deep. So 10, Robbie Menzies. A weird choice to start off with, an OG rider from like a decade ago. I'm not really super familiar with Robbie Menzies, but you know, I looked into him a little bit more and yeah, like pretty respectable OG rider. I just don't understand why it's not something more relevant, like Cody Flom or something, you know, but we're just gonna let that one slide, I guess. So moving on, Matt McKean. This is where it starts to get weird again. Matt McKean, great rider, pioneered scootering. Just as far as relevance goes for 2022, I have no idea how he ended up on this list. There's a ton of incredible relevant riders that would be great for a 2022 list. I just don't think Matt McKean is on here. They have all these weird misspellings like Mathy, and it says Matt is a bachelor's in fine arts, whatever that means. I guess they're just not proofreading this or whatever. So this is where I started to think something was wrong. Either it's written by like an AI, but I don't think AIs misspell things. So is it just written by like an OG scooter rider who doesn't know how to proofread? Like, what is this list? So we're moving on to Ben Thomas, another older rider, a little bit newer than Robbie Menzies and Matt McKean. He dropped one of my favorite edits, the Farewell Sacrifice edit, which is weird because they mentioned in this article that he's sponsored by Sacrifice. Man hasn't been on Sacrifice since 2014. But, you know, this article's already insane, so I guess I'll just let it slide here. So boom, number 7, Jamie Ryder. I don't know who this is. I looked him up. I can't find him. Listen, there's a lot to unpack here, but it says he's a rider that was born in Australia in 1994, used to ride street with Matt McKean, and you know, I've been riding for over 10 years. I've heard of most of these guys at least a couple times. Never heard of this man before, but we will get back to this. Jeremy Malott, another very odd choice. Incredible scooter rider, but he's mostly been exclusively BMX for the past few years. I think it's weird that he's on this list, but all right. 5, Max Peters. I love Max Peters. No problems here, except for one thing. This is not a photo of Max Peters. Listen, you can argue whether Max Peters is relevant right now or not. That's like a whole different thing. We just went through a bunch of riders that didn't match that at all. But this is not a photo of Max Peters. Like, I looked into it. This is a photo of some like Brazilian marketing guy. I don't really know. It was just his website's in Portuguese. I don't really know anything about this guy. Dylan Morrison, number 4. This is not Dylan Morrison, at least a scooter rider. This is Dylan Morrison, the college basketball player. It's honestly devolving. This list is just past the point of comprehension. I've let so much slide right now, but I really do believe that Dylan Morrison belongs on this list, which is why I'm so mad that they couldn't even get the right photo of him. Like, if this guy did a couple of Google searches, it would have been so easy. There's like 2 Dylan Morrisons that are even like famous right now. If it's not one, it's the other. This guy's playing basketball in the photo, and I didn't fire off any red flags, but I guess we're just gonna move on. Brandon James, figured he was gonna be on this list, but it's just super weird that he is. He hasn't been relevant in a couple years. It doesn't really look like he scooters anymore. His Instagram's full of like car photos and stuff, which is cool and all. I just don't know how he ended up on the top riders 2022 list. And then I'm just gonna skim over 2 and 1, Ryan Williams, Dakota Schutz. A lot more misspellings, a lot more dated information. They probably belong on this list, except for Coda doesn't really ride anymore, but I already let that one slide. So I don't even know. But let me tell you, this list is just getting started. I don't know why I'm so passionate about this, and I'm just appalled at I'm so confused at what I'm looking at. There's so many questions. So the conclusion is just talking about how dangerous scootering is, which is definitely a weird note to close on, but not the weirdest thing about this. And then there is this infographic. This infographic is absolutely insane. So first of all, it has all of the scooter riders' photos, the correct ones, even the ones that they got wrong. Then it has the most insane information. Like, all the information for all the riders is completely different. So it's like, oh, birth date, nationality, nickname, and it switches up nationality with country, like, okay. But then Brandon James is just defined by his signature deck specs, and same thing with Dylan Morrison. With his bar specs too. Did somebody even look at this? Like, who designed this? Was it AI? I really don't know. And Max Peters is just subs in since 2007, whatever that's supposed to mean. I'm just confused. I'm just scrolling at this point. I have no idea what to make of this. All I have are questions, and I'm getting dizzy. I'm so confused. So we move on to the frequently asked questions. Maybe this will clear something up. Who is the best scooter ever? It's a tie between the Vespa PX200, the Lambretta SX200, and the Tall Dragster 180, which, okay, moving on. Who is the highest paid scooter rider? They say Ryan Williams. There's not a lot to say about that. It's probably Ryan Williams. I can't verify it, but it's probably him. What is called a professional scooter? A pro kick scooter is a durable version of the normal kick scooter. Trick scooter can usually neither be height adjusted nor folded. An advanced compression system makes it heavier than a typical kick scooter. As a result, a pro scooter is well suited for trick riding and vert riding. Moving on. How long do pro scooters last? The average pro scooter lifespan is 28.8 days. The average vehicle traveled 163.2 miles over 92 trips. I don't even know what this could be talking about. It's not a pro scooter. Those don't last 28 days. It's not a moped or an e-scooter. Why would those only last 28 days? Are you buying the worst thing on the market? Where are they getting this information from? I have more questions than can possibly be answered at this point. Who are these photos of? What is going on with this website? Why is all of this information so dated? And who is Jamie Ryder? Who created all of this? What is going on? This is where the rabbit hole begins. I found this link at the bottom of this infographic and I typed it in. And then it brought me to a different website called Sport Search. And I typed in scooter in the search bar and it brought up an article from 2021. It looked to be somewhat similar and it was written by Surav. And I clicked on it and it brought me back to the 2022 article I was just reading, written by Vincent Rodrigo. I thought that was super weird, but I don't know what to make of it. So I guess we're back at square one. So I started looking up the riders to see where these photos came from, and it got me thinking it's probably just people with the same names. Easy. Dylan Morrison popped right up, college basketball player. Max Peters took a little bit of digging, but I found some website in Portuguese using the same photo. It looks like it's some marketing guy. Brandon James also came right up, but then it took a turn. I Googled Jamie Ryder, and I've never heard of this man before, and I guessed the photo could be correct because I've never seen this guy before, but the more and more I looked, the more I could not find any evidence of Jamie Ryder existing at all. Like, I was thinking maybe I just don't know that much about the scooter OGs or whatever. All that popped up was Jamie Hull riding for Apex, and it said Jamie Ryder designed parts for Apex a while ago. So I was thinking maybe Jamie Hull has something to do with this. Maybe they mixed up some information and they're actually thinking of Jamie Hull. So I was just really confused because Jamie Hull wasn't born in Australia in 1994. He's from the UK. He was born in 2002. So who is Jamie Ryder and who is this photo of? I started by reverse image searching this photo. I came up with nothing. The only existence I can find is of this photo in the article that I'm already reading, and another one. I don't really know what to make of this either, but it really feels like a red herring. There's this e-commerce site that's selling like things from articles, and it's just full of fake reviews and stuff like that. And it said like best scooter riders of 2022 or top 10 scooter riders, and it was like $15 and asked you to select a size. It was just insane. I think it's another like AI bait, like scam website. We're not going down that way. So I kept Googling, and I'm starting to notice his name popping up here and there. I started clicking around, and I found out that his name is popping up in these articles that are like copied and pasted versions of the article that I was already reading. But everything's just been changed a little bit. There's even more misspellings, so like take and remove sentences, but it's always like in the same order. It's always like Robbie Menzies, Max Peters, Brandon James, Dakota Schutz, Ryan Williams, Jamie Ryder. But I found this article, the top 10 best scooterists right now. It's an almost identical list of like riders, right? But the weirdest thing is that they switched out Jamie Ryder with Jamie Hull, and then they tried to like make ends meet in the description saying, oh yeah, Jamie Hull goes by the stage name Jamie Ryder, and he's an Australian guy that was born in 1994. But that's not true. If you look up Jamie Hull, he was born in 2002. So I'm just wildly confused now. I don't even know, like, could this be possible? Is Jamie Hull living a double life? I highly doubt it. The whole article was even weirder than the first, and I didn't know what to make of it, so I kept digging. I really didn't think I would find too many more or less 12 more duplicate sites I found in all different languages with different modified information, with swapped around photos. Some photos were different, some photos were new, some photos were deleted. They would take one photo from one rider and put it on a different photo of a different rider. And first, the photo of the young Ben Thomas doing the Bri flip from the first one, I thought it was just a photo of a young Ben Thomas, but it's actually a photo of Jamie Addison when he was much younger. He's a UK rider, he's not even from Australia. And it was like from an interview that he did when he was 11. I don't know how it ended up in any of these articles. They don't mention Jamie Addison at all. Like, it's just really confusing. And all these websites are just full of so many mistakes and like just insane sentences. Like they're misspelling names of companies and riders. I saw Max Peter written somewhere with another wrong image. Some of them were just like one sentence descriptions that were totally inaccurate. They changed Jamie Ryder and Jamie Hull out. Like every other article I would find, oh, it's Jamie Hull. No, it's actually Jamie Ryder. And they were just, I don't even know what I've stumbled across at this point. So I kept looking for Jamie Ryder. I'm like, this might be the key to unlocking whatever the hell I've stumbled across. I found one other mention of his name that wasn't in one of these duplicate articles, and it brought me to this like Russian clone of YouTube, and it was this scooter edit, but it was like the best riders or best tricks of 2020, and it mentioned Jamie Ryder in the bio. and there was like all the videos were just a bunch of different pros without names. Like I wouldn't even know if Jamie Ryder was in this or not, because it's just like 50 different pros and it wasn't naming which one was which. I don't know what Jamie Ryder looks like. How would I know if he's in there? So I texted all of my most knowledgeable scooter friends. I'm like, have you heard of this guy? I sent them the link. They thought the article was hilarious, but none of them have heard of Jamie Ryder. I am trying to figure out how this absolute ghost of a man ended up on all of these lists for the top 10 best scooter riders of whatever year the article was published in. All I can ask is, who is this photo of? And who was born in 1994 in Tweed Heads, Australia, and helped design these Apex parts? And what's with all these weird articles? What's with all these e-commerce articles? There's even other weirder blogs. Like there was this one where it says the richest scooter riders, and it's just Dakota Schutz and Ryan Williams, and the bios are insane. Is this just like some lazy way from these media corporations to like just write out blogs real quick just by like copy and pasting, like modifying other blogs? I don't understand. And there's this Complex article that's just an intro and there's no image and it's just talking about scootering. It's just like one paragraph talking about scootering. I don't know what to make of all of this. How much of the puzzle am I missing? Like, who is Jamie Ryder? I don't understand. And there's just so much nonsense. I feel like I'm on the edge of exposing corporate AI media racket that Scooter got mixed up in. It's absolutely the most insane scooter content I've ever seen. And I know it's all a bit pointless of me getting so like worked up and passionate about this like really niche thing going on that I'm sure nobody's ever heard of. I wish there was more of a conclusion to this. I think the whole thing could be wrapped up so much more neatly if it was all like some big conspiracy. But I think it's more realistic that we might just never know like anything about this. It might just be some weird like way the internet works. But I know this content is extremely different from what I normally do. If you guys have any information that can help me out, any crazy conspiracy theories or opinions, please let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.